Hey everybody, I just wanted to quickly talk about wire repair today. We had a wire get cut between the couches, and this powers the light, so it's not a high voltage thing, but what I've done here is I've taken a set of wire strippers and I've kind of cut this plastic coating back, and I have the other end that I'm going to attach to it. What you also need is some shrink tube. This is just a heat shrink tube. You can get it at pretty much any hardware store. And then I have some general electrical solder, and I have a little soldering iron. Make sure that you keep this off your carpet. It gets very, very hot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap these wires together. What I like to do is kind of take it and bend it over top of itself like that, and bend it over top of itself like that, and then I'll spin them around each other. Okay, so for this one I went ahead, and you always want to make sure that you put this heat shrink tube on before you put the wires together, or you end up having to take your wires apart. So for this one I have one for each wire that covers the wires, and then I also got a larger one that will cover the splices completely. So that's my personal preference. Now you take this solder, and this can be kind of tricky to do with just two hands. It can be very helpful to have people helping you out. But you take the soldering iron and you touch it to the wire heats up, and that solder will go down into the wire, and that creates an awesome bond. There it goes. And now that won't have any problems whatsoever with the electrical getting out. Okay, so here's both of the wires that have the soldering in them, and what that does is that keeps this from being able to unwind. So we're going to cover this. We're going to take a little lighter. You just pass the lighter over top of this, and this is good for outside electrical connections as well, because this will shrink down onto the tube, or the tube will shrink down on the wires, and it gives you a waterproof seal so that the wires don't get wet. Alright, there we go. Now all of the wires are safely back together. We've bonded this back together. Everything is covered. That is a nice repair that will never ever come undone.